Welcome, dear viewers, to Couch Warrior TV on YouTube. I am the Couch Warrior, and you are watching The Passage, Skyrim SE Let's Play, featuring Ettient Jorel, the Altmer Ranger. Well, in the last episode, we made some nice upgrades to our gear, to our setup. We look like we're better prepared for the weather. We have some extra carry capacity. We now have a nice hood combined with our face mask to hide our identity, and also the hood is a leather helmet replacer, so we will receive benefits at some point, should we take the right perks, for a full set of leather armor, which is good. Not in its current form, because we are actually mixing leather with steel, but who knows. At least that's one thing that doesn't count against us. I happen to particularly like the look of the steel boots and gauntlets combined with the leather armor, especially this new sleeved armor that we got, so very cool. So today, we are going to do some work. Some work on weapons, specifically. Let's check out the smelter here. In order for us to do this, I'm going to have to go over some things with you guys. So this ranger armor, I can recover leather from that. That's great. Steel arrows. Okay. Biggie. So let's explore Etienne's background for just a brief moment. So one of the things that I've alluded to is the fact that for 25 years he was involved in a career having to do with piracy. We've also talked about the idea that he was not leadership material, he was a member of the crew, so what kind of crew member was he? Well, given his background as a ranger, given his natural agility from what we've seen in all the climbing that he does and all of that kind of stuff, he was basically a rig rat. He was one of the guys who ran up and down the ropes, up and down the rigging, and in combat situations, he was also an archer, the kind who would climb up to the crow's nest and fire from above. That is, I think, obviously what he's good at. Archery is something that he's good at and has been good at. But we can definitely kind of see him in that role. So a lot of climbing and a lot of archery focus. And on board a ship, climbing up the rigging with a bow and firing a bow from up on high means that what you need is a compact bow. You need a bow that is small enough to conveniently carry up through ropes and rigging and sails and all that stuff, but also has enough power to fire down on enemies from above and do some real damage, especially if you have opponents who are wearing even light armor. So what Etienne is going to do now is he's going to salvage the wood from Mongrel, and he's going to make revision 2 or version 2 of Mongrel. And that's what our focus is going to be here. The other thing we're going to do is, if we can find the materials here, we're going to make ourselves a set of new completely custom daggers and get rid of these orc daggers. So again, we're customizing our loadout and taking advantage of some of the mods that I have, because there are things in them that I really, really enjoy. But as far as the story goes, he's going to make himself what he believes will be a more effective bow, and a bow more in keeping with the type of bow he's used to firing, as well as a set of daggers that are going to be particularly good for the sort of work that he's finding himself doing now.
Are you need some armor, Outlander?
What have you got for sale?
The finest weapons and armor.
All right, so we've got 438 gold to work with. First of all, let's sell anything we don't need. Okay, I'm not going to sell our daggers until I'm absolutely sure I don't need them anymore. So we'll keep that. Get this Dagger of Fear. And sell that. And then we had a lot of Forsworn stuff. Sell all of that. Hide bracers of major lockpicking. Ooh, tempting to hang on to that, isn't it? Okay, this old leather armor. We don't need that. We've upgraded. Leather boots, we don't need that. Don't need that. I don't need more than one pair of these vampire gauntlets. I still don't even know if I'm going to use them, but I just like them, so we're going to hang on to them. Okay, we've got 5 steel ingots. That's good. All right, let's see what she has. Dwarven metal ingots. I'm going to take 4 of those. And I think that may be all that she has that I can actually use at this point.
All right.
Let's look at our inventory here. Okay, we got some firewood.
I work in the forge.
Oh, here we go.
Mother says it pleases her and our people.
Okay, so under the steel category, we got a lot of new toys under here. What we're going to build is this Forsworn bow. It is a redesigned Forsworn bow, and I really, really like it a lot. So this is the new mongrel. We're recovering wood and materials from Mongrel Revision 1, and we're making Mongrel Revision 2. Okay.
Even good hammers warp metal if struck without care.
Okay, let's take a look here and just see what is required for us to upgrade the new mongrel. Okay, steel ingots. That's fine. And remember, we're doing I'm doing all of this before I actually turn in the Forge Master's fingers. We're going to turn in the Forge Master's fingers here shortly, but before we do that, I want to make sure that we get as much of a bonus as we can. We've still got the Silverblood family ring here. And we'll put on the Forge Master's fingers. Looking under potions, I don't think I have... Oh, I do have Fortify Smithing, 21%. That's good. I'm not sure if I could make a better one or not. Let's go and at least talk to the alchemist in case she has something better than 21%. I kind of doubt it, but you never know. Hey.
I have poisons for your weapons.
Do ya?
So you're an alchemist then.
I guess so. Guess I am, huh? Okay, let's check here. Ooh, blacksmith's draw at 30%. Yeah, we'll take that. Let's look and see if we've got something that we can sell. There's a draught. Potion. Okay. Fear poison. So the Magicka potions we have been selling. So let's just sell these two. Resist magic we're keeping. True shot is good. Okay, if we look at her ingredients. Well, she's got a few useful things, but we're doing okay on the smithing front at the moment.
Until next time.
All right. So, we've got a decent potion here, but before we burn that potion, then, what we need to do is... we need to make our daggers first, so we're making the most efficient use of our potion. Thank you. Hey, getting cozy here. All right. That's annoying, but she'll get out of there soon enough. There she goes. So under the steel category, let's see if we have what we need. I'm going to make a couple of daggers down here called the Stone Wasp Dagger. It's a really kind of a wicked and interesting looking implement. Okay, we're going to come up short on leather strips, aren't we? And steel ingots, we've got 2. Or we got 5, we need 2 dwarven ingots. Yeah, so we just need some leather strips, and we'll be able to make 2, because I want to make a matched set. Hey.
You need some armor, Outlander?
I require leather strips, please.
Blades, helmets, pretty much anything to suit your needs.
Yeah, strangely enough, this orc stronghold is really lacking in smithing equipment. So we have to buy strips. Let's just take them all. All right, here we go. We have just enough materials, I think, to make these 2 daggers. But I'm a big fan of these, and I think they look particularly interesting for a ranger, and particularly somebody who's doing up-close kind of wet work. I think they're very cool. So we're going to snag those. Now, if we look at what we've got here, we've only got 1 steel ingot, and we're going to need at least 2 more to upgrade everything, because the bow is going to require a steel ingot, and the daggers will also. So what we're going to do, we're going to go out there and loot those bandits and see if they have any steel weapons. I seem to remember thinking one of those bodies had at least a steel war axe. If we can recover some steel and smelt it down, that might be just enough in terms of materials for us to upgrade the daggers and the bow, because we've got 1 really uncommonly good smithing potion to burn, so I want to take full advantage of that if at all possible. Hopefully the bodies are still here. Yeah, I think we're in luck. Oh, but not the bandits. Only these forsworn knobs. I don't think I can recover any materials from these. Yeah, the bandits are gone. That bard, he must have looted them, drug them off somewhere. Who knows? Well, we'll recover what we can here. It's not often that you find a decent fortify smithing potion, let alone spend the money to buy it. So the other alternative we have, because I really would like to go out into the field knowing I'm using the best possible weapons I can at the moment, is we could look and see if she has anything she's selling that would produce steel ingots if we melted it down ourselves. That would be another way to go here. Things like axes and picks and all that kind of stuff, I think that's only going to net us iron. We don't really need iron. Oh, hey. We need us some good steel. Okay. Yep, steel for the bow. Yeah, and steel for the daggers as well. Just checking, just checking. Hey.
Are you looking to work? The finest weapons and armor.
Alright, so let's see what she's got. Under the steel category. Oh yeah. Ooh. She's got a battle axe. I'm not sure how many ingots a battle axe would net us. I'm thinking a steel dagger would get at least 1 ingot, and it'd be cheaper to buy 2 of those than the giant battle axe. So we'll buy those, and then now we can offset the cost a little bit more with some of this other stuff that we've found. Forsworn sword. Okay, we've got our 2 orcish daggers we were using. We can sell those now. The shivs I'm keeping because of sentimental value. Stone hatchet. I'm told I don't need the stone hatchet anymore if I have a woodcutter's axe, so we'll sell that. Forsworn boots. Get rid of that. Gauntlets, we don't need those anymore. Bracers of major lockpicking. I don't know. Selling those too. Steel gauntlets of major archery. We're using the hell out of those. So. And I've got a lot of pelts I could sell too, but I'd prefer not to sell them if I can
All right, then.
fix them up myself on the tanning rack. So let's see if we can smelt down these daggers. We should be able to now. Like I said, we just need 2 more steel ingots would be all that we require to do what we need to do. Ooh, is that just going to give me 1? Oh, no. There we go. That should be it. All right, so let's double check our gear. We got our Forge Master's fingers on. We got our Silver Blood family ring on. Going to use the potions, and we're going to use this blacksmith's draft or draught, depending on how you pronounce that. So let's do this. Get the best bonus we can anyway. All right, it's done. All right, so if we look at this now, there's the new bow. It's got a nice kind of compact look to it. It looks extremely powerful, which I really love. Okay, and then the daggers. I'm a big fan of the Stone Wasp daggers. I think in part because of their just wicked-looking style. The way that they curve inward, they look like they're implements that have been specifically made for throat slitting, which I love. So we're in good shape. Feel pretty good about all of that. All right, so we're back in business.
Are you looking to work? The mines are nearby. You bring me ore, I'll give you coin. You need some armor, Outlander?
No, I think we're okay for now. Look at him.
I don't believe it. You found the Forge Master's fingers. You've impressed me, Outlander. No one else has returned from this task before. By the Code of Malakath, I name you Bloodkin to the Orcs. Let it be known among the strongholds that you are family now.
Wonderful.
Feel free to trade with our smiths for orc weapons and armor. Train with my warriors, or purchase poisons from the wise woman. Welcome to our stronghold, Bloodkin.
This is one of the wonderful things about Immersive Armors, too. If they put the orc chieftains in that gear. I mean, that's insane. He looks crazy intimidating, right? As opposed to before, he was just kind of sitting there shirtless, kind of like a doofus, to be honest. So, very cool. All right. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to make some potions before we leave here. Thank you. Okay. So we're going to fortify marksman like crazy here. Bunch of those. Some poisons. And some restore health. We've got a whole crap ton here of blisterwort. I don't want to use the butterfly wings. Saving those. Fortify enchanting, that's butterfly wings also.
Markarth is pleased with your strength, Lorik.
I am honored.
Let's see if we have anything else here. I'm thinking that if I had enough ingredients to make some invisibility potions, that'd be pretty awesome too. I may, but I can't judge by my current knowledge of this stuff, so...
That is all that matters.
That's fine. Alright. So, phase 2 of our new rig is complete. Okay, so steel gauntlets of major archery, that's kind of our standard. We're going to stick with that. Alright, very good. So, this is excellent. Now, the last thing that we have to do is at some point, we'll want to find an armorer's workbench and upgrade our newly created armor to something a little bit stronger. But that's okay. We have all the materials we need. We just need a workstation. All right. So let's grab a quick bite to eat. All right. And we are off. Now what we need to do is go and check out that outpost. Here, also, one of the things I'm going to do just for the sake of roleplay is we said that we recycled the materials from this Forsworn bow. There wasn't really a way for me to actually do that in-game, and it wouldn't really be fair to sell it and, you know, make 100 or so gold on it because, according to the story, we're using the materials in this reliable bow to create an even more powerful and reliable bow. So what I'm going to do is just drop it right here. And to me, that's representative of us retooling Mongrel and making sure that we aren't being sort of falsely rewarded at the same time. Because one of the things I did not want to do is... I didn't like the idea of him just discarding a bow that's been so good and so reliable. But I do like the idea of him using pieces of it or upgrading it or whatever to some kind of a fighting and hunting implement that he's used before. All right. Okay, let's hustle across here. I'm hoping that the fog lifts because it's going to be difficult for us to do some of the scouting we need to do if it's this thick. but we'll see. All right, let's go up here to our old haunt. We had this little nook right here that we used to scout Bruka's Leap the first time that we attacked. And at this point, I'm just looking for traces of movement, which we don't see. And one of the things you may notice is that, you know, obviously we do a lot of rock hopping, and there's a lot of situations where Garm is not going to be able to follow us, and we'll be looking for a different route. I don't worry about this. And the reason I don't is because in our roleplay, their relationship is almost, at the moment, like I've talked about before, it's one not necessarily of companionship, but of convenience that may grow stronger over time. I almost think of it as a business-like sort of relationship in a way. And when she disappears for extended periods of time, from a roleplay sense, I think of that as her off killing a rabbit and having breakfast, you know, or doing whatever she sees fit. It's like we said, she has her own agenda, and we don't rule Garm's agenda because she's not our pet. She's a traveling companion and a partner. So when she wanders off to do her own thing, that's fine, and she's not, the way Etienne sees it, she's in no way obligated to help him in combat or with any of the things that he's doing. She's basically doing him the honor of traveling with him, you know? And I really think that that's how Etienne would view this. All right. To get to where we need to go, we're going to have to cross this river. And it's kind of a nasty one. Here we go. All right, come on. Let's get across there. Looks like a good place to ascend. As Etienne goes up levels, I'm really starting to feel the benefits of all that investment in stamina now. Oh, here we go. The weather's clearing. This will be good, because we need to be able to get a distance view of what's going on. Here, let's go up here and have a little look. Oh, it's gorgeous. All right. Well, we're not yet at a point where we can see Dragon Bridge, so we're going to keep advancing. We'll go to the next point. Have a look. All right, there's Dragon Bridge right there. This overlook point, according to our stolen Forsworn map, has to be in this area somewhere. Ah, look at that, right there. And look, there's a dude. It's a guard standing on the cliff, or a scout, or whatever you want to call him. They're definitely doing surveillance on the village there. Okay. Now let's see. What do we got here? Just thinking about this as a possible shooting platform. Think we can hit that guy? I feel like we've taken tougher shots. Okay. Straight up. Maybe about there. Bam! Sorry. Got a little excited there. That was awesome. I don't know why this character, I mean, long shots in Skyrim are always satisfying. But given who Etienne is and his mission and all that stuff, for some reason I find those shots so much more satisfying with this character. It feels like when he gets them, he's earned them more somehow. You know what I mean? Like he's really earned the shot, like he's... You know, I mean, we don't have a ton of enchantments going on. We've got one set of gauntlets that are giving us some benefit, which is great. But it just sort of feels like, with everything that we've been through with this character so far, and the perks that we've invested in... Okay, look at, we're getting our bearings now. We know that camp. Look at it, camp is still there. Something bad happened to those people. It looks like they may have never come back. It looks very similar to what it looked like when we left last time. I'm just saying, it feels like he earns the shots more. Okay. There's two bivouacs there, I guess. Let's see if we can draw somebody out. Make a little racket. Oop, yeah. This is closer range, so let's go to the money arrows. Nuts. Oh, shit. Coming this way. Okay, let's get back out of sight. Shh. We need to change position. We drew them out of the camp, but I think they're going to come back. And when they do, we want to line up. Uh-oh. Stun him. Helping our companion. All right. Nice job, partner. We had to take him together. Yeah, this is look at this. This is different different territory than Etienne is used to. All this ground cover, I didn't even see the guy change direction and come towards me until he was practically on top of me. That would have been much more difficult for an enemy to pull off in the Reach. So this just kind of illustrates the importance of the environment we're operating in. All right, let's be careful. All right. I think we're good. Okay. Well, let's have a look around. Ooh, look at this map. Okay, this is a map of all of Skyrim, but it seems to place particular emphasis on settlements, which seems important, alarming. We perhaps don't have a good sense for what that means yet, but this is something for us to note. One thought I have from a roleplay perspective is that Etienne might take a map like this, roll it up and stuff it in his backpack, and then take it to Melka and show it to her, and see if she might know what it means. If they're marking these spots, what do those spots mean? Are those indicating just strictly towns, or is there some specific meaning to the way these things are marked? Does it mean these are places where they're going to attack, or locations where they have planted agents, things like that? So, definitely worth investigating. What? It's novice. Come on. There we go. Ooh, gold earrings. What? Nice. More pelts. Let's take the ale. Why can't I pick that up? I sure would like to pick that up. Okay. All right, let's go check out their little outpost down here. Oh. Look at that shot. Right through the neck. Ooh, venison. Barbarian armor. Not bad. From way the heck up there. Right there. I do like that shot, actually. See ya. Alright, so let's take a look. What can they see from up here? I mean, really, it's got to be all about Dragon Bridge. One of the things that we heard from the guy who actually runs the mill down there is the strategic value of this bridge. But why are the Forsworn interested in it? Unless they're planning on... I mean, it seems to us, anyway, that they've always been about recovering the Reach, not attacking other parts of Skyrim. Unless they're working on some kind of an offensive. Maybe that's what they want everybody to think. Maybe the goal is something larger. I don't know. Well, it's certainly alarming enough that I think we're going to take a chance. We're going to go back down to Dragon Bridge and see if there's anybody we can warn. Maybe the Penitus Oculus or somebody. We can warn them, let them know that they're being observed. The fact that they're watching a settlement along the edge of the Reach makes me feel like they're planning on mounting some kind of a more significant offensive, you know what I mean? And if they are going on the offense, then there's potentially a lot of people who could be impacted by that. All right, Wolf. We should probably camp here, I guess. Might make sense. But I don't want to camp near this Forsworn camp because, once again, we created a bit of a dust-up here. And if they have comrades in the area who might come to investigate, we don't want to be discovered during the night. So let's try and find somewhere else that we could camp. Okay, this is the trail where we came up, right? Let's just scout around a little bit and have a look, see. So, one of the things that I want to run by you all is just an idea that I was thinking about based on something that Joe is doing in his Let's Play on the Panicked Monk. He had an episode that he released this weekend where he just did a little Q&A that was focused on his story, where he explained some things and answered some questions that had come up in comments. One of the things I was thinking of doing was something similar, but the idea being that it would be a bit more targeted at discussing some kind of character-related role-play stuff that we don't get a chance to talk about a lot, because honestly, in the past I've recorded Let's Plays where the commentary has been recorded after the fact, for example. I don't do that anymore. I record live commentary because I feel like I have the confidence to do it and I have the right setup and all that stuff. But sometimes what it means is that I'm distracted when I'm trying to talk about things like character background and, you know, Etienne's personality and morality and religious beliefs and all of that stuff. And quite often it comes off as disjointed or, you know, something like that. So I've been thinking about doing some episodes every so often, that I might do a short episode that's really just some gameplay footage with a discussion of Etienne from a role-playing perspective, so we can kind of get some of those things on record without my having to be so obsessed about trying to remember all the details when I'm also trying to play the game at the same time. So let me know what you'd think about that. They would probably be short episodes, I'm thinking 15 to 20 minutes, that kind of deal. With not, you know... Let me get up here. With not a lot of extensive play, necessarily. But just some nice scenery to look at from the game series. And then a discussion of whatever details we want to talk about. So let me know what you think of that. I think that it could be a good companion to this whole thing. Plus, it'd be helpful for me to have as a resource to go back and check some of the things that I've said over the course of the adventure, because I'm not really documenting any of this, at least I haven't to this point. So it would be a way for me to sort of dynamically document all of this as we go along. So let me know your impressions, thoughts in the comments, and we'll make it happen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is going to call it for this episode. We've accomplished a lot here. We've got, again, additional upgrades made. in our gear. We have recovered some really valuable intelligence in the last 2 episodes in the form of 2 maps. We've eliminated an outpost that was dangerously close to the town of Dragonbridge. And in the next episode, we are going to go to Dragonbridge, and we are going to warn the Penitus Oculus that they're being observed by the Forsworn. See if there's anything we can do there. But beyond that, we now have a map showing us a bunch of other Forsworn encampments that we're going to need to take care of. And that will continue our mission, our war on the Forsworn. I want to thank you all for watching all of these episodes of The Passage, and I will see you next time.